Hi, I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to solve a 5x5 Rubik's or Ishans or whatever you are having, Olympic cube or whatever. Okay, basically how I solve it is that I'll be teaching you the reduction method, not the cage method. Reduction method means you solve the centers and then you solve the edges, whereby the cage is the exact opposite. You solve the edges first and then you solve the center. That's why it's called the cage method. So basically what I'll do, just to let you know, the orientation of a 5x5 is exactly the same as a 3x3. What I mean is that you look at the center piece, center QB, okay, that will be the color of the whole face. So for example, the middle is green, everything will be green. White, everything will be white, and so on and so forth. So how I solve it is usually I will solve the blue first, the blue 9 QBs inside, okay, the blue block, and then the green block, and then I'll solve white, red, yellow, and purple. Or purple, if it's Rubik's, it will be orange. So basically how I solve it, for example, I'm solving the blue face, right? How I generally solve it is I will solve it layer by layer, which means I will solve the middle one first, then I'll find second one, and then the third one. So let's look for the middle one. So over here there's 1, 2 of this, which if I were to bring it this way, I've already solved a line. Okay, so I look around for other blue to create a line. So for this case, I have one here and I have one here. So what I need to do is I'll bring this here. Alright, so it is on a straight line. So if you notice this middle line here, alright, what I need to do is I need to bring this here, right? So if I were to bring it like that, bring it here in here, it will spoil this line that I've created. So what I'll do is I will move it out of the way, parallel to the line that I've just created. So if I bring it in, it will not disturb the middle line. So I'll solve the third line. So I have one here and I have 2 here. So if you look at it this way, what I need to do is to shift this here, so that if I bring this down here, it will create a line. So what I'll do, I'll shift it this way, then I'll bring it down, so you create a line. So now what I need to do is, because you see that the orientation of this blue line is this way, and this line which I've created is this way. So what I need to do is to shift it parallel to the blue lines which I've just created. So what I need to do is just to put it back. So it's done. So after solving the blue face, I'll solve the green. So I've told you I'll solve the top and bottom faces, and then I'll solve the sides. Alright, so now I have the green. So I'll again the same thing, I'll solve a green line center. So it doesn't really matter which green tiles you want to use. The easiest one, you just choose the easiest one. So for example, here you have a green, right? Then you have 2 lines here. So you know that if you bring this down here, it will create the line, the green center line. I'll bring it down. Okay, remember the blue center that you've solved. Okay, make sure it is parallel also, so that, because look at it, this is going this way and this is going this way. So not to disturb the cube, alright, what you need to do is to bring it and make it parallel. The trick is to make it parallel, right? And then you bring this back. So now you have the blue still intact, and then the green. So what you need to do is to solve the other two lines. So for this line, okay, what you need to do is just to create lines after lines, right? So for example, this, I'll shift it here. So if I know if I bring it here, you will be in the same line, correct? So what I need to do is bring it out of the way, so if I turn this back, my blue is still untouched. So basically it's creating lines after lines and not disturbing the others. You don't really have algorithms for this. They are, but I would rather that you learn it through intuitive, which is much easier. So now you have these two cubies here, then you know that you have one here. You can use either whichever you want, so I'm going to be using this. So I know that if I were to bring it over, you create a line, right? Now comes the problem. Why? Because if I were to bring this green here, this blue here will follow suit, and this blue here will be affected. So what you need to do, very simple, bring it out of the way, right, out of the way, and then this green, bring it away, bring this green down again. So you look at this, so you know that if you're to bring this green into the correct place, the blue will also go into the correct place. So it's basically creating layers after layers. So now my last green, right, I have two here and I have another one here. So very simple. If I were to bring this, the green piece here, it will create a line. So the same thing again, bring this up here, out of the way, right? Then this blue, I'll bring it back. Then this green, I bring it down, so that if I were to put this green here, I put this blue line here, this green will also go here. Right? So now the two opposite sides are solved. So the same thing goes for the yellow and the red.